Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. The paper we are solving today is IGCSE Chemistry, May-June 2024, and this is the paper 21. Now, let's start with the first question. A gas is heated, pressure is kept constant. Now, we know that when pressure is kept constant, volume is directly proportional to temperature. And since they are heating it, means they are increasing the temperature, so the volume must also increase. Alright, so the particles move faster. This is true. Since you're providing temperature, the kinetic energy will also increase. Due to the increase of temperature, kinetic energy will also increase. As a result, expansion will start. So the volume also increases. So the particles move faster, this is correct, and become closer together. No, this is incorrect. The particles move faster, true, and become further apart. This is correct. The particles move slowly, no. The particles move slowly, no. So the correct answer is option B. Next question. A mixture of ice and water is left to stand and the ice melts. Which row describes what happens as the ice is melting? Now, just pay attention to this. They're saying that melting is taking place here. We know that during state change, temperature stays constant. During state change, the temperature stays constant and the energy is used up to overcome the attractive forces. So the temperature will stay the same and the energy is used to overcome the attractive forces. Option D will be the correct answer. Next question. Hydrogen chloride gas is released at P in the apparatus shown. Alright. The universal indicator turns red after 38 seconds. We know that hydrogen chloride is a acidic gas. So it turns red after 38 seconds because there is some distance. There is some distance that it has to cover. That is why it is taking 38 seconds time. Now they are saying you are repeating the same experiment but you are changing the gas. Instead of hydrogen chloride, now you are using sulfur dioxide gas and its molecular mass is nearly the double. HCl is 36 and this is 64. We know that heavy gas will take more time to move. Very basic logic. If a gas with mass of 36.5 took 38 seconds, a gas with a mass of 64 will take considerably more amount of time. Also, we need to understand the nature of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is an acidic gas. It's a non-metal oxide which are acidic in nature. So the universal indicator will still stay red because SO2 is acidic in nature, but the time taken will be more. So answer D is the correct one. Option D. 4 statements about atoms are listed. The central of an atom is positively charged. This is true. Protons and electrons are located in the nucleus. No. In nucleus, only protons and neutrons are there. Protons and electrons have the same mass. Incorrect. Most of the mass of an atom is in the nucleus. Correct. So statement 1 and 4 is correct. Which option is matching? B. Next question. So in this question, they have given you configuration of two elements and they are asking you to predict to which group number they belong and to which period number they belong. You simply need to remember this, that the valence configuration, the outermost shell configuration, tells you about the group number and the number of shells tells you about the period number. The number of shells will tell you period number and the valence electrons will tell you group number. So element L overall has 4 shells, means it belongs to period 4. So element L should be in period 4. And element M should be in period 3 because there are 3 shells. So just by this we got the answer, which is A. Also you can cross check. I told you that the valence electrons represent the group number. So element L has 1 valence electron, means it belongs to group number 1. It's the same thing here. And element M has 4 valence electrons, so it should be 4 group numbers. Same thing here. So option A is the correct one. Next question. This question has been repeated multiple times. Which why isotopes have the same chemical properties? There is only one reason to it, because they have the same electronic configuration. Electronic configuration determines the chemical properties. That is why C is the correct one. Potassium chloride. So they're simply asking you that potassium chloride, regarding potassium chloride, we have given you 4 statements. You have to tell which one is correct. We know that potassium chloride is an ionic compound, so it will conduct electricity in molten or aqueous state, right? So it conducts electricity in solid? No. It has a high melting point because it has strong intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces are not there in potassium chloride. Its structure is a giant lattice of alternating positive negative ions. This is true. And it is soluble in water. Ionic compounds are soluble in water. So our correct answer will be statement 3 and 4, which is option number D. Next question, how many electrons are shared in one molecule of nitrogen and one molecule of ethene? For this, we need to know the structure. In nitrogen, 3 bonds are there between the 2 nitrogen atoms, and in ethene, the structure of ethene looks like this. So you can clearly count the number of electrons here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in ethene, there are 12 electrons which are being shared. One single bond contains 2 electrons. Alright. Now let's check for nitrogen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So nitrogen is 6, ethene is 12. Option C is the correct one. Question number 9. What is the total number of electrons in one molecule of ammonia? Nitrogen has 7 electrons, hydrogen is 3 times 1. So total 10. Option C is the correct one. Next, when heated, copper oxide reacts with ammonia, alright. 8.5 grams of ammonia reacts with excess of copper oxide to produce this much copper. What is the percentage yield? Alright, good question. For this, we need to know the formula first, that percentage yield is actual yield by theoretical into 100. Now, actual is the one which is always given in the question, just like they are telling you here that 26.4 grams of copper is produced. So this is the actual yield. This is the actual yield. Theoretical yield is the one that you find out using stoichiometry, which we are just going to do. We know that 8.5 grams of ammonia is there. So the formula I'll use is that moles is equals to given mass by molecular mass. Given mass is 8.5. Ammonia's molar mass is 17. So if you solve this, just give me a minute, I'll solve it for you. 8.5 divided by 17 is coming out to be 0.5 moles of ammonia. Now what do? We have to find the moles of copper. Now if you check the ratio between ammonia and copper, it is 2:3, right? So what you will do is you multiply 0.5 with 3 by 2. So 0.5 times 3 divided by 2, it is coming out to be 0.75 moles of copper. Now if you want the mass of copper, you multiply the moles with atomic mass of copper. Let's take atomic mass of copper to be nearly 64. You will have it in the periodic table. Times moles are 0.75. So if I do 0.75 times 64, it is coming out to be 48 grams. So this is the theoretical yield. Alright. Now we know the actual yield 26.4. Theoretical is 48 times 100. So 26.4 divided by 48 times 100, it is exactly coming out to be 55%. So our answer is option C. In case you are confused about the topic stoichiometry, I have uploaded a video on my channel for stoichiometry. It's nearly a 1 hour video, but all your concepts will get cleared. Along with that, there are 2 practice videos for stoichiometry on my channel. That will also help you. Now, what is the empirical formula of ethanoic acid? We know that ethanoic acid is CH3COOH. So it will be C2H2O4, or you could say C2, yeah, that will work. Sorry, C2H4O2, because 3 hydrogens here, 1 hydrogen here. So the empirical formula will be CH2O, simplified form. So option B is the correct one. Next, magnesium chloride contains magnesium ions and chloride ions. All right. How many chloride ions are present in 2 moles of magnesium chloride? So for this, I have a very simple method for all of you. What you need to remember is that 1 mole contains 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. All right. How many moles do we have? We have 2 moles. So I will say 2 times 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 molecules of magnesium chloride we have present. Now, what I want all of you to do is simply find number of ions in one molecule of MgCl2. I can see there is one Mg2 plus ion and two Cl negative ions. So the number is 3 ions. Now, it's very simple. What I'm asking all of you to do is count the total number of molecules, which in this case is 12.044 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. Right? Then simply count how many ions are there in single molecule. It appears that there are 3 ions in a single molecule. So if you find total ions, just multiply 12.044 times 10 to the power 23 with 3. So the answer will come out to be option C. Very simple. I have simply used the unitary method of maths here. Now, a metal object is electroplated with copper. One electrode is the metal. Alright, so this is electroplating using the copper. The electrolyte is copper sulfate. They're simply asking you what is the equation at anode. Alright. We know that in electrolysis of copper sulfate, the ions present are copper 2 plus, H plus, OH minus, SO4 2 minus, right? And at cathode, reduction takes place in this type of question. So that is Cu2 plus 2 electrons gives copper solid. And at anode, the same copper gets oxidized. This is the equation. So our equation is very much clear that it should be out of option C and D. Right? Now we have to figure out that what will be the color change. Blue color does not change. This will be the answer. Alright? Because in the solution, sulfate is still there. So the color will stay the same. Which statement about electrolysis is correct? In electrolysis, electrical energy is converted to chemical energy. So statement A is incorrect. Electrons flow through the electrolyte. No, this is incorrect. Ions flow through the electrolyte. Ionic compounds are broken down. True. Metals are formed at positive electrode. No. Positive electrode is the anode, where anions get attracted. So option B, sorry, not option B, option C is the correct one. Question 15. We have a calculation question here. All right. So they have given us that you know the energy of this, you know the energy of this. You have to find out this. All right. So we will do it using the simple method that reactant minus product is equals to the enthalpy change, and which is equals to negative 486. Why did I put a negative? Because it is saying releases. So it's loss, negative. All right. Now let's count the energy for reactants. We have 2 times hydrogen here plus 1 times oxygen, double bond oxygen. This will be the reactant section. So let me do the maths. 2 times 436 plus, I'm taking oxygen double bond as oxygen as X. All right. So this is the reactant. Now minus product. You look at here. H2O looks like this, and this is times 2. So we have 4 times oxygen bond hydrogen, right? Do we know the energy of oxygen bonded hydrogen? Yes, it is 464. So 464 times 4 will be the energy of the products. 464 times 4 will be 1856. So I will simply subtract 1856 here, and that will be equals to negative 486. Now we do the simple maths. This will be 872 minus 1856 plus x is equals to negative 486. 872 minus 1856 plus 486 is equals to x. Now let me do the maths here again. 872 plus 486 minus 1856. So the answer is coming out to be 498 kilojoules per mole. So option C is the correct answer. Question 16. They're simply asking you which out of these four will give out the most energy. First of all, giving out, so it should be exothermic reaction. And we know that in exothermic reactions, reactants have more energy than the product. So reactant should be on top. So option B and C already gets cut. Now you simply look at the greatest energy difference. In A, the energy difference is more. So the answer will be A. Next question. When calcium carbonate is heated strongly, a gas is given off. So this is a thermal decomposition reaction, which is a chemical change. So option A will be the correct one. It won't be exothermic because it requires heat. You're heating it. So it is endothermic and a chemical change. Next question. Powdered magnesium carbonate is added to excess dilute hydrochloric acid. So it is already in excess, fine. Total volume is measured over time, all right. The graph of the result is shown, all right. So now they're repeating the experiment and they're saying that we are simply increasing the concentration of HCl. So now we know that rate of reaction directly depends upon concentration. If you increase the concentration, the rate of reaction will be more. Now, what does it mean by rate of reaction to be more? Rate of reaction is more. It means the same amount of product will be formed in less time. So the final volume of the gas is 360. No, the amount does not change. Only it takes less time to form the same amount. The reaction finishes before 90 seconds. This is true. Statement 2 is correct. The activation energy is lower. No. Activation energy is lower only when you add the catalyst. So only statement 2 is correct, which is option number D. Next question. Which statement explains why increasing the temperature changes the rate of reaction? We know that when you increase the temperature, the kinetic energy increases and the frequency of collisions increases. Right? It increases the activation energy? No. It increases the frequency of collisions? Yes. It increases the kinetic energy? Yes. It increases the number of particles per unit volume? No. This happens by concentration, not by temperature. So statement 2 and 3 are correct, means our option C is the correct one. Hydrogen is made by reacting carbon with steam. The equation is shown. The reaction is endothermic. They're simply asking you what will you change in order to shift the equilibrium to the right. And we have to use the equilibrium principle here. First of all, let's see how it is affected by pressure. We know that if you increase the pressure, equilibrium shifts to the side with less gaseous molecules. Now let me count the number of gaseous molecules here. Is this a gas? No. Is this a gas? Yes. One molecule of gas here. And on the product side, there is one, two. So on the reactant side, we have one molecule of gas. On the product side, we have two molecules of gas. So if you increase the pressure, it will shift to the side with less gaseous molecules. Means it will shift backward. But do you want it to shift backward or forward? Forward is towards the right, right? So you will decrease the pressure. So pressure decrease is option A or B. Now let's check for temperature. We know that in endothermic reaction, if temperature is increased, forward reaction is preferred. So that is why option B will be the correct answer. This is a factual question. We need to remember the conditions for contact process. It is vanadium 5 oxide, temperature is 450 degrees Celsius and pressure is 2 atm. So the answer will be 20. Option B will be the correct answer for question 21. Which statement is correct? Alright, so we can clearly see that magnesium is idle here, but now it is combined with oxygen. So this is oxidation. Carbon dioxide had oxygen, but now it has lost all the oxygen. So this is reduction. Means magnesium is oxidized, carbon dioxide is reduced. Statement A itself is the correct answer. Next question. Chlorine displaces bromine from aqueous potassium bromide. Bromide ions are acting as oxidizing agent. Now, we need to understand this conceptually. It is saying that the bromide ions are acting as oxidizing agent. So it is indirectly saying that bromide ions are getting reduced. Reduced means gain of electrons. So it is Br minus here, then it is Br 0 charge here. Is it gain of electrons or loss of electrons? You can remember the mnemonic oil rig. Oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. So if bromide ions are getting reduced according to the statement, is it actually getting reduced or it is getting oxidized? It is getting oxidized. So statement A is incorrect. Bromide ions are oxidized as the electrons are lost. Yes, it is getting oxidized. How? Because it is Br minus here and on the product side it is Br 0. So charge of -1 means excess electrons. Charge of 0 means neutral amount of electrons. So yes, our statement B is correct. Now let's also check the other options. Chlorine acts as a reducing agent. So they're trying to say chlorine is getting oxidized. And oxidized means loss of electrons. So let's check whether it is losing electrons or not. On the reactant, it is in elemental form, so the charge is 0. In the product side, the charge is -1. So it is going from a charge of 0 to -1. Is it loss of electrons? I don't think so. It's gain of electrons. Incorrect. Chlorine is reduced as electrons are lost. This is the issue here. It is getting reduced, this is true, but reduction is not loss of electrons. Reduction is gain of electrons. Look here. Oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. So that is why statement D is also incorrect. Question 24. Which gas is produced when ammonium chloride reacts with sodium hydroxide? We know that ammonium salts, when they react with alkalis, ammonia gas is formed. So you can simply remember this. Option A will be the correct answer. Which equation correctly represents the solution of ethanoic acid in water? We know that ethanoic acid is a weak acid, first of all. So it will partially dissociate and the symbol should be equilibrium symbol. So only in option A and C equilibrium symbol is there. Now we simply need to check, is this ethanoic acid? No, it has only one carbon. Ethanoic is 2 carbons. So equation C is the correct one here. 4 statements are given. Alright, let's check the statements. Aluminium oxide, it is an amphoteric oxide. So it can react with both acids and bases. So it reacts with both acid and the base. Yes, this is correct. Calcium oxide is a metal oxide which is only basic in nature. So it reacts with both. No, incorrect. Copper oxide reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. Copper oxide is a metal oxide and metal oxides are basic in nature. So can a base react with an acid? Yes, but not with aqueous sodium hydroxide. True. Why will a base react with another base? So statement 3 is incorrect. Sorry, statement 3 is correct and statement 1 is correct. So 1 and 3 is the correct answer, which is option number B. Let's also check statement 4. Sulfur dioxide does not react with dilute hydrochloric acid or sodium hydroxide. Now this is incorrect. Sulfur dioxide is a non-metal oxide which is acidic in nature. So acids should react with alkalis. That is why this statement is also incorrect. And our correct answer is option B. Which statement about elements in period 3 is correct? Aluminium is a non-metal in group 3? No, it's a metal. Incorrect statement. Argon is in group 8 and has 8 valence electrons? Correct. Magnesium is in group 2 and has 3? No, if it is in group 2 it will have 2 valence electrons. Incorrect. Sulfur is a metal? Sulfur is not a metal. Option B is the correct one. Which row describes the structure of group 7 elements? Group 7 elements are diatomic. So option A and B. Now the reactivity of group 7 elements decreases as you go down. This topic is taught in periodic table, so it will decrease as you go from top to down. Option B is the correct answer. 29. Some information about 4 elements is shown. Which elements are transition elements? We know that transition elements have high density, high melting point, and the color are there, multiple colors are out there. First of all, S is out of the options. Alright. So any option having S is the incorrect one. B and D is the incorrect one. Now, P has high density, high melting point, but low density, high melting point and high density. So P and R are the correct ones. Option A is the correct answer. Propanoic acid is a carboxylic acid. We know that all carboxylic acids are weak acids. So dissociate partially, or you could say they partially ionize. That is the correct one. So let's check. Aqueous propanoic acid is weaker. True. Propanoic acid partially ionizes an aqueous solution. True. Propanoic acid reacts with ethanol to form propyl ethanoate. This is incorrect. I'll give you a short trick. Just remember that the alcohol in the ester gives the yl part. So the name should be ethyl propanoate of the ester. Alcohol forms the yl part, YL, and the propanoic acid will turn into propanoate. Or you can simply remember that the acid turns into ester. So if it is propanoic acid, the suffix will be propanoate. Means ethanol will be ethyl. So statement 1 and 2 are correct, 3 is incorrect. So our correct answer is option number B. Next question. Iron rusts in the presence of oxygen and water. Alright, we are aware about this. Anhydrous iron oxide is formed. No. What is this logic? First you are saying iron rusts in the presence of oxygen and water. Means when it becomes hydrous, when it becomes hydrated, then it is the rusted form. So this is incorrect. Iron rusts more quickly when attached to a piece of zinc. No. When you attach zinc to it, it is for protection of iron. So it delays the process. Not more quickly, it delays it. Statement 2 is incorrect. Coating the iron with plastic prevents the iron from rusting. True. Iron loses electrons when it rusts. Yes, true. See, whenever a metal gets oxidized, means it is losing electrons because oxidation is loss of electrons. So, and in rusting, the metals get oxidized. So, statement 3 and 4 are correct, which is option number D. Question 32. An iron nail is added to aqueous copper sulfate and a different iron nail is added to aqueous magnesium sulfate. Alright. The experiment is there. Let's check the statements. Copper atoms are oxidized easily than the magnesium atoms. Now, this is incorrect because reactive the metal is, more reactive the metal is, it is more likely to get oxidized faster. Which one is more reactive out of copper, magnesium? Magnesium is more reactive, so it will react faster, it will get oxidized faster. Statement A is incorrect. Copper atoms are reduced more easily than iron ions. Copper atoms are reduced more easily than iron ions. Which one is more reactive? Copper or iron? Iron is more reactive, so iron will get reduced easily. Incorrect. Iron atoms are oxidized more easily than copper atoms. Now this is correct because iron is more reactive than copper in the reactivity series. So it will get oxidized first. Iron atoms are reduced more easily. Incorrect. Our correct answer is statement C. Which pollutant leads to deoxygenation of water? So this is due to fertilizers which flow into the water bodies and cause the trees and the plants in the aquatic environment to grow. So that is why the reason is fertilizers. This happens due to fertilizers. When you want to check whether the particular substance is pure, you will check that whether it is boiling at its melting point or boiling point, whether it is boiling at its specified boiling point. If it does not boil at 100 degrees Celsius, then the water is not pure. So the answer is D. Oxides of nitrogen and nitrogen are produced by car engines. In a catalytic converter, oxides of nitrogen are removed by reacting them with compound X. Which row describes the type of reaction oxides of nitrogen undergo and identifies compound X? So we know that 2NO plus 2CO gives N2 plus 2CO2. This is one of the equations that you need to remember. Now, first of all, nitrogen monoxide is harmful. Carbon monoxide is also very harmful. So nitrogen monoxide gets converted to nitrogen. Carbon monoxide gets converted to carbon dioxide. Does it mean carbon dioxide is not harmful? It is still harmful, but less harmful than carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is highly toxic than carbon dioxide. So what is happening? Oxidation is taking place. For carbon monoxide oxidation is taking place, but they are asking us for nitrogen. Now, if you look at nitrogen, this nitrogen is losing oxygen, and now it is an elemental form without oxygen. So, this is reduction. So, nitrogen is getting reduced. So, reduction is taking place. And what is helping in this? Carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide? Carbon monoxide. Because if nitrogen monoxide is getting reduced, so carbon monoxide must be the reducing agent. Right? This is how it works. So option D is the correct one. Next question. What is the disadvantages of producing ethanol? See, there are two methods in our syllabus by which ethanol can be produced. And you need to know the differences between both of them. What are the benefits of the one and the disadvantages of the other one? One is fermentation, the other one is catalytic addition of steam to ethene. In this process, the only one issue is that ethene is a petroleum product. It is a non-renewable resource. So the correct answer will be C. Which statement about polymer PET is correct? PET is a polyester, and polyester is made from dicarboxylic and diol. It can be broken down into its monomers. Yes, this is correct. It is an addition polymer? No. It is a condensation polymer. It is polyamide? No. It is a polyester. It is made from amino acid monomers? No. It is made from dicarboxylic diol. Incorrect. Statement A is the correct one. Option A is the correct answer. 38. The formula of 5 compounds are listed. Which compounds belong to same homologous series? So we need to simply see which one has the same general formula in this case. Alright. Or you can just identify if alcohols are there, they belong to the same homologous series. If acids are there, they belong to the same homologous series. You can clearly see one alcohol, another alcohol, another alcohol. So there are 3 alcohols, they belong to the same homologous series, 2, 3 and 5. So option B is the correct one. Propane reacts with chlorine. This is a substitution reaction. Propane is this CH3, CH2, CH3. When it reacts with chlorine, the first product it will form is CH3, CH2, CH2Cl and HCl. And this reaction keeps on going. Fine. But this needs ultraviolet radiation. Alright. So this is correct. Propane undergoes addition reaction. No, this is not addition reaction. This is substitution reaction. Addition reaction happens with alkenes, the ones with double bonds. Alright, so this is incorrect. One of the product is CH3CH2Cl. This is incorrect because they are showing only two carbons here, but propane has three carbons. If the answer would have been this, in place of this, if they had wrote CH3, CH2, CH2Cl, then this would have been correct. But it's not, so third is incorrect. One of the products is HCl, is it? You can see it here. So this is also correct. Statement 1 and 4 are correct, so option A is the correct one. No, sorry, my bad. Statement 1 is correct and 4 is correct, so option B is the correct one. Statement 2 itself is correct because it is not addition reaction, it's a substitution reaction. Which statement about chromatography is correct? It is not possible for two different substances to have the same RF value. No, it is possible. It is only possible to use chromatography on substances which have a color. No, it can also be used for proteins, amino acids, which do not show color, but you can simply spray locating agents onto them to obtain the color. So it is possible to use chromatography on colorless substances using a locating agent. This is correct. The formula is distance traveled by solute. No, the formula is distance traveled by the substance over the solvent. So option C is the correct answer. Alright. So we're done with the paper, guys. In case of any doubts, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to reply to your doubts. This paper was May-June 2024, paper 21.